Hello there. Welcome into the latest edition of the SAU Women's Basketball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head women's basketball coach Julio Pacheco. And Coach, we'll talk about last week. 2 games played, both of them on the road, going back to Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City area. Take on Oklahoma Baptist last Thursday and then Southern Nazarene on Saturday. Always tough to play on the road in the conference, especially when you go to Oklahoma. For us over here in Arkansas, that first game on that Thursday against Oklahoma Baptist, they're newcomers to the GAC, transitioning from the NAIA, but traditionally a very good women's basketball program there as well. Thursday didn't turn out the way you wanted to, but I think even though the result was a loss, there was a lot of fight that your team showed at the end to make it close there, and then you spin it forward to Saturday, a quick turnaround, and you really put things away early against Southern Nazarene. So talk a little bit about both of those games.
Absolutely. The Oklahoma Baptist game was a game that we walking in there, we had a lot of respect for the team. We did, we spent a lot of time doing scouting report, watching tape, and we knew going in there that they had tremendous starting five. Their starting lineup is as good as anybody else in the league right here. And for that fact, we did not put ourselves in a situation to have a good, clear shot to win the game. Way too many little turnovers in the beginning of the game, mistakes that not necessarily shows on the stats sheet, but it kind of happens in the game, and they built a big lead in the beginning of the game, and it was hard for us to overcome that throughout the game. You made a good point. I was proud of our girls to come back in the last the end of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, and we made a big push and start pressing and kind of got out of our element a little bit. Desperate times requires desperate measures a little bit, and our girls, they made a big push, but it was too little, too late. Oklahoma Baptist they're really good. I think they have good players. They got a good, strong presence inside, and they have one of the best shooters in the league, number 20, Mackenzie Cooper. So they will be a factor here in 2-3 years in our league. I think they're definitely going to be one of the contenders in our integrated medical conference. So.
And then after that game, again, the quick turnaround, you play basically less than 48 hours later at Southern Nazarene. And like I said, that was a game that kind of you guys took control of early on, left little doubt in that game as you were able to kind of cruise to a pretty comfortable win. What does that say about your team, though, to experience what they did on Thursday, to be able to kind of throw that away and look forward and with the task at hand in the performance they had against Southern Nazarene?
Our girls, they understand the urgency of playing a senior year. Our senior leadership is the best. I like to talk about, Shauna, Rosa, Tierra, Shante. Those are 4 seniors there playing, and like anybody else, they don't like losing. We lost the game, and they look to themselves and, okay, now we need to turn it on here, And I'm not saying they didn't turn it on for the Oklahoma Baptist game, but they were just a sequence of mistakes in there that happened that gave them a comfort lead. Going to SNU, we knew that we had to take care of business early in the game, and we did. I think we had a 22-point lead at one time. Just high-level execution of offense, playing a high-level defense, and we really controlled a good opponent too. SNU, good team, good program too. They got one of the main players injured that she didn't play Saturday, but we went there and we don't focus on those things. We took care of ourselves and came out on top.
Now looking ahead, you've got kind of I don't want to say a rough or difficult stretch, but it's going to be challenging as far as conference play. Now you're only in conference play the rest of the way out, but you've got your typical Thursday and Saturday games coming up this week. But then again, another quick turnaround after Saturday. Yeah. You're playing Arkansas Monticello on Monday. But not to get too far ahead, first team coming in is Henderson State this Thursday at home. A good home game coming back after break, students back, so expecting a really good crowd there. You're facing a Henderson State team that you look at them statistically, they have a lot of offensive power. What do you think are going to be some of those keys to maybe limit them, or is it going to be one of those you just try to shoot them out because you have a pretty good offense yourself?
I think Henderson State, we talk about with the team this week, it's an in-state rivalry. Okay, they're a good club for many years. Henderson State will always play hard. I think the main thing approaching the game is really focus on ourselves. And that's what I talk to the players the majority of the time, if not the whole time. How can you come in the gym every single day and get a little bit better in different areas? It's your shooting, your passing, maybe it's your agility, maybe your footwork. And I think that constant drive to get better daily, it's what makes our team really continue to improve once we go to the next game. There's no, I don't feel like a sense of settling or just a kind of coast. And I think that's been the key for our season. I mean, most of the games, the majority of the games, we always focus on ourselves. We go over a few things. The other teams, of course, Henderson has a number 15, who's a really high scoring. She's coming from a 45-point game against Northwest Oklahoma. But we'll be prepared. We'll be ready. We're not afraid of anybody. That's the main thing. We'll be ready to go and just excited to get the first in-state conference match right here. So we'll be ready for Henderson.
Then after that, just dealing with this weekend, you're going to Arkansas Tech, and this is the portion of the schedule when you looked at it at the beginning of the year, knowing you were going to be on the road a lot more than you were going to be at home. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, winning on the road in conference play is pretty difficult. Going to Arkansas Tech, obviously a perennial power. Maybe give us some keys to that game once you get to that point, or even looking that forward ahead, or are you just focused on Henderson?
Well, right now it is 100% focused on Henderson State. This is a long stretch. Really, the way I approach is 5 games in 10 days. It requires a lot of planning from us coaches, with a lot of things as far as traveling, meals, and things like that. Everything has to be close to perfect for us to give ourselves a chance to be successful in this stretch right here. The trip to Russellville on Saturday, we were not even really thinking about that too much right now. We're focused on Henderson State. This is a huge game for us. The players understand the urgency of taking care of our home, protect our home. And, after the game, we start thinking about, going to Arkansas Tech on Saturday. So it's an exciting time of the year. I mean, there's basketball on TV all the time. If you're a basketball fan, you got to love it, So just come on out, support us. What a great year to be, part of this right here, part of the women's basketball program. I'm really pleased and proud of our players. So just continue taking one day at a time.
I appreciate it very much for your time again. That's head women's basketball coach Julio Pacheco. He and his Lady Mule Riders are back at home this Thursday, taking on Henderson State. Tip-off at 5:30 p.m. in the W.T. Watson Center. Expecting a big crowd, hoping for a big crowd. So be sure to come out. Also be sure to check MuleRiderAthletics.com for all your pre- and post-game coverage. Coach, appreciate it and best of luck.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.